Hey Casper fam, before I show you some new stuff and play a game on leeches, let me show you another beautiful trap in the London system that you can try today. I call this the bishop takes h7 trap, or simply the Greek gift trap. So you first of all want to start with d4. After knight f6, you play bishop f4, kind of the accelerated London system, even though this is the Indian defense. They play pawn to e6 and then you go e3. Normal moves. If d5, you play knight f3. So when you play the London system, first of all, you want to set up what we call the reversed Italian opening structure. Or if anything, just remember this. By move number 4, you must have this position on the board. Your king's knight on f3, your bishop on f4, your pawn on e3, and another pawn on d4 before you start thinking of something else. Anyway, the top played move here is bishop d6. Pawn to c5 is also playable, but I'm just showing you what most people play. Bishop d6 in this position. Wait a second. As an expert in the London system, I'll tell you it is not good to take the dark squared bishop on d6, especially if black can recapture with their c pawn like that. I mean, if you do this, you're just going to strengthen their center. Besides, sooner or later, they will play pawn to e5 and, if allowed, pawn to e4, dominating the center completely. So you don't want to help black to strengthen their center like that. That's why you don't want to take the dark squared bishop. Maybe you can only consider taking the dark squared bishop if black's c pawn is already on c5. I hope that is clear. But in most cases, you either want to play bishop g3, not taking, or do what I'm going to show you now. On move number 4, in this particular position, after black plays bishop d6, play knight e5 immediately. This is the new update, you guys, and I want you to get used to it. Most of your opponents are going to castle shot, thinking this will be the normal London system that they always see on YouTube. After this, you simply go bishop d3, normal development. Bishop d3 comes before c5 so that we can play c3. Why c3? We are just preparing for bishop c2 in case black plays pawn to c4, period. At this point, black plays knight c6. Now this is when you go knight d2. Why? Because you want to over control the e4 square as early as you can. I mean, given a chance, so that you don't even allow black to play knight e4. Anyway, if black played knight e4 instead of knight c6 somewhere here, we still had moves like pawn to f3. I mean, knight e4 can be met with pawn to f3. They will have to go back. But anyway, knight c6, knight d2, over controlling the e4 square. Note how black can't even take on e5. For example, they can't do it with their knight due to d takes e5. This will be a fork. If that doesn't happen, let's say they take back with a bishop, we can still take back with a pawn, and they have to move their knight away. And ladies and gentlemen, this is where the common London trap may occur. So you continue with knight f3. Once you see the move queen c7 in an effort to, get back the e5 pawn, just know you are winning once again due to the following Greek gift sacrifice. Bishop takes. If king takes, you have knight g5 check, and once the king goes back, you have queen h5, intending to checkmate black here. If they play rook d8, wait, there is a popular checkmate sequence in this position which every London player must know. You first take on f7 with check. After king h8, you go queen h5 check. After the king goes back, you go queen h7 check. Once the king goes to f8, you go queen h8 check and checkmate black in 2. Like that. This is one common checkmate sequence you must know by now. Anyway, let's say black doesn't play king back to g8 after knight g5 check. What if they play king g6? Well, the sequence continues as follows. You first of all give a check, queen c2, check. If king h6, you have queen h7. If pawn to f5, you take with en passant. This is check. Once the king moves, you first of all save your knight like this with check, so that after the king moves, now that's when you take the free queen. So this is one little trap that I wanted to show you in today's video. I call this the bishop takes h7 trap, or simply the Greek gift trap. So similarly, if you want to play the London Wall attack successfully, you need to start with the following moves. Setting up your reversed Italian first, like this, your knight on f3 and your bishop on f4 and those pawns, and then think of playing knight e5 immediately. This is for you guys who want to start playing the London Wall attack from today. You're doing this so that one day you may play pawn to f4 after putting your bishop on g5 or on g3. For example, after bishop d3, c5, c3, knight c6, knight d2. This time, if black doesn't take on e5, which is a blunder anyway, and let's say they play a normal move like queen c7, that's when you may go knight df3, adding more support to that, followed by bishop g3 in the near future, knight takes and pawn to f4. If knight e4 is played, bishop g3 makes a lot of sense to me, because if knight takes happens, once again I have this Greek gift sacrifice with bishop takes, check. If king takes, I have knight g5 check. Once the king goes back, I now take back like that, knowing that there will be no knight takes here due to checkmate in 3. Pap, king takes, king g8, and mate. So these are some of the common traps found here. That's why after knight e4 and bishop g3, you won't see many of your opponents taking on g3 anyways. And not that your knight on e5 is well defended. If f6 or f5, by the way, you just want to oversimplify things. How? Like this. Pap, after bc, you go bishop takes, queen takes, knight e5, and once the dust settles, this is when you play pawn to f4, going back to some kind of the stone wall. So there is no specific sequence to follow for you to reach the London Wall attack. You just need to be quick with this knight e5 move, obviously after developing your bishop, and things will start moving smoothly. Just ensure to over control the e5 square and the e4 square, and you don't even need to rush, to cast a short. Chess will begin playing itself once you do the right things. Play knight e5 as fast as you can, bishop g3 and pawn to f4. Now it is time for me to try the London Wall attack in any way I feel like. The question that begs to be answered is, will you watch up to the end? Let's see if you're going to be that person. And hey, remember to subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you can't, share this video for God's sake. Let's go. Right, let's have a game. So knight f3, I want to play bishop f4 next. There's no increment, so I need to be very fast. I think c3 now, or knight e5. What can I do? I think let me play knight e5. This early knight e5 move is what I'm preaching about in the London Wall attack. Play this as early as you can. And then there's this other sequence, knight c3 again. Remember, the b2 pawn is a poison pawn in most of these London structures. There's knight takes. Oh, I have a very nice continuation if that happens. If knight takes, I'll just play bishop e3, pinning the knight to the queen. So yes, if you play the London Wall attack correctly, there are all these opportunities to trap your opponents. Again, knight b5 is such a big deal in the London Wall attack, you guys. Learn these things. From me. Just one move away from winning the rook on a8. My opponent is going to resign. Looks like we are not going to have the London Wall attack. And look at this. This is just how good this position can be. If I want, I can take on f7. That would just be a free pawn if you think about it. If black takes, I would take the rook on h8. These are very simple tactics to see. No rocket science involved. Technically speaking, I'm just up a pawn. A knight takes. Rook. Up an exchange also. Can I play bishop e3? This time black has bishop c5. So let me play bishop e5. Plan is to take and go queen h5. If bishop c5, I will just take on f6 and go queen h5 check. Rescue my knight and checkmate black. So this is another way you can play the London system if your initial plan doesn't work. Queen h5 check. Now the h7 pawn is dead. Let's win the dark squad bishop. Oh no, there's bishop e7. Yep. Pap. Attacking the knight. Put the king to safety before taking on f5. Okay, queen takes h7. The queen was under attack, so queen takes h7 was justifiable. Forgot to mention that I'm playing against a 2364 rated player. Time to win the bishop. Let's attack with all our pieces. That's a blunder. I have knight and that. Check. Then win the rook. Oops. I think it's under attack. Let's do this. Bishop d7. How about attacking the queen? My opponent. Check. Check. Then check. Check. Pin the queen. Damn it. Great. So we didn't see the London Wall attack, but I guess you guys have seen the idea. Sometimes if you try to play the London Wall attack, your opponents will try as much as possible to run away from it. So that's where the knight c3 stuff may come in, and then try to mate your opponent very fast, as I did. Right. By the way, you can check out my courses at www.KaspaChess.com or on my Patreon page. That's how you support this channel. By the way, I don't ask for donations or free money. So the way you support this channel is by joining one of our membership tiers on Patreon or simply buying my courses. That really helps.